Guys, it's Miss Clark. I hope you're having a good day. All right, today I'm going to be going over chapters 13 and 14 from Sideways Stories from Wayside School. All right, so chapter 13, Rondi. Number 1, why is it strange that everyone thinks Rondi's 2 front teeth are so cute? Number 2, why does Rondi tell the class a joke about a monkey? And number 3, what kind of bite does the author say hurts the most? All right, so let's get started. So we're on chapter 13, Rondi. All right, and it says, Rondi had 22 beautiful teeth. Everyone else had 24. Rondi was missing her 2 front teeth, and those were the most beautiful teeth of all. Your front teeth are so cute, said Miss Jules. They make you look just adorable. But Miss Jules, said Rondi, I don't have any front teeth. I know, said Miss Jules. That's what makes them so cute. Rondi didn't understand. Ooh, Rondi, I just love your 2 front teeth, said Mauricia. I wish I had some like that. But I don't have them, said Rondi. That's why I love them so much, said Mauricia. Oh, this is silly, said Rondi. Everybody thinks the teeth I don't have are cute. I'm not wearing a coat. Don't you all just love my coat? And what about my 3rd arm? I don't have one. Isn't it lovely? Love your hat, Rondi, said Joy. I'm not wearing a hat, Rondi screamed. That's what makes it so interesting, said Joy. Don't you think so, Leslie? Oh, yes, said Leslie. It's a very nice hat. Nice boots, too. I'm not wearing boots, Rondi insisted. Yes, said Joy. Very nice boots. They go so well with your hat. What hat? Asked Rondi. Yes, said Leslie. Leslie agreed. Rondi showed excellent taste by not wearing the hat or the boots. They go so well together. Rondi had had enough. She covered her head so nobody could see her. She put her feet under her desk so nobody could see her boots. Then she closed her mouth tightly so nobody could see her 2 front teeth. Suddenly, everybody who was sitting near her began to laugh. What's so funny? Asked Todd. The joke Rondi didn't tell, said Jason. Ask Rondi not to tell it again, Todd, said Calvin. Rondi, said Todd, don't tell it again. Rondi was horrified. She didn't know what to do. She kept her mouth shut and just stared at Todd. To her amazement, Todd laughed. Hey, everybody, called Todd. Listen to Rondi's joke. Rondi didn't say a word, but the rest of the class began to laugh. Mrs. Jules got very angry. She wrote Rondi's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. The classroom is not the place for jokes, she said. But Miss Jules, said Rondi, I didn't tell a joke. Yes, I know, said Mrs. Jules, but the funniest jokes are the ones that remain untold. Okay, said Rondi. If that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. I'll really tell a joke. That way I won't disturb the class. And tomorrow I'll wear boots and hat. Of course, you won't like them as much as the ones I didn't wear today, but I better hurry up and tell my joke before you all start to laugh. There was a monkey sitting in a banana tree. He was very hungry. He knew that somewhere in the tree there was a magic banana, and that once he ate that banana, he wouldn't be hungry anymore. He ate 1 banana. That wasn't it. He was still hungry. He ate another banana. That wasn't it either. He was still hungry. Finally, after he ate his 10th banana, he wasn't hungry anymore. I knew I'd find it, he said. It's too bad I didn't eat that one first. I wouldn't have had to waste all these other bananas. Nobody laughed. Nobody had even listened to Rondi. Mrs. Jules was busy teaching arithmetic, and everybody else was paying strict attention. Rondi slapped herself in the face to make sure she was really there. She was. The bell rang for recess. Rondi ran outside. She was very upset. Louis, the yard teacher, saw her. Why the frown, Rondi? He asked. Come on, smile. Let me see your cute front teeth. Rondi screamed. She socked Louis in the stomach, then bit his arm with her missing teeth. And that kind of bite hurts the worst. All right, so chapter 13, Rondi. So number 1, why is it strange that everyone thinks Rondi's 2 front teeth are so cute? Okay, the answer is already there. It says it is strange because she doesn't have anything there. Number 2, why does Rondi tell the class a joke about a monkey? Right? And it's probably coming up soon. And then number 3, what kind of bite does the author say hurts the most? Well, at the very end, it talked about she bit Louis with her missing teeth, and that was the kind of bite that hurts the most. And then number 2, Why does Rondi tell the class a joke about a monkey? Because it says, I really tell a joke. That way I won't disturb the class. Which was right because they were paying attention to the lesson. All right, so let's move on to chapter 14. Don't forget to also do the character card. All right, chapter 14, Sammy. This one is quite the chapter. All right, so it looks like this one. It's with the jacket. All right, chapter 14. So Sammy's questions are, number 1, why can't anyone see what Sammy looks like? Number 2, how tall was Sammy after all the coats were removed? And number 3, what did the class discover after the last coat was gone? All right, chapter 14, Sammy. It was a horrible, stinky, rainy day. Some rainy days are fun and exciting, but not this one. This one stunk. All the children were wet and wore smelly raincoats. The whole room smelled awful. Ooh, it stinks in here, said Mauricia. Everybody laughed, but she was right. There was one good thing, however. There was a new boy in class. New kids are always fun, except no one could tell even what the new boy looked like. He was completely covered by his raincoat. Class, said Mrs. Jules, I'd like you all to meet Sammy. Let us show him what a nice class we can be. Leslie walked up and smiled at Sammy, but her smile quickly turned into a frown. You smell terrible, she said. Leslie, exclaimed Mrs. Jules, that's no way to greet a new member of our class. Mrs. Jules wrote Leslie's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. But he does, Miss Jules, said Leslie. He smells awful. You're ugly, Sammy replied. Now, Sammy, that's no way to talk, said Mrs. Jules. Leslie's a very pretty girl. She's ugly, said Sammy. Allison spoke up. Well, you smell terrible and are probably even uglier, but nobody can see you because you're hiding under that smelly old raincoat. That will be enough of that, said Mrs. Jules. Now, Sammy, why don't you take off your coat and hang it in the closet? Let us all see how nice you look. I don't want to, you old windbag, said Sammy. That's because he's so ugly, said Leslie. I'm sure he's quite handsome, said Mrs. Jules. He's just shy. Here, let me help you. Mrs. Jules took off Sammy's coat for him, but underneath it was still another raincoat, even dirtier and smellier than the first one. They still couldn't see his face. Ooh, now he smells even worse, said Mauricia. You don't exactly smell like a rose either, Sammy replied. Mrs. Jules took off his second raincoat, but there was still another one under that. And the smell became so bad that Mrs. Jules had to run and stick her head out the window to smell fresh air. You're all a bunch of pigs, Sammy screeched. Dirty, rotten pigs! The smell was overpowering. Sammy just stood there, hidden under his raincoats. Mrs. Jules wrote Sammy's name under the word discipline. Send him home on the kindergarten bus, said Joy. Not with me, said Todd. Mrs. Jules held her nose, walked up to Sammy, and removed his raincoat. She threw it out the window, but he had on still another one. Sammy hissed, Shh! Hey, old windbag, watch where you throw my good clothes. Mrs. Jules put a check next to Sammy's name on the blackboard. Then she took off another raincoat and threw it out the window. The smell got worse, for he had on still another one. Sammy began to laugh. His horrible laugh was even worse than his horrible voice. When Sammy first came into the room, he was 4 feet tall, but after Mrs. Jules removed 6 of his raincoats, he was only 3 feet tall. And there were still more raincoats to go. Mrs. Jules circled his name and removed another coat. She threw it out the window. Then she put a triangle around the circle and threw another one of his coats outside. She kept doing this until Sammy was only 1.5 feet high. With every coat she took off, Sammy's laugh got louder and the smell got worse. Some of the children held their ears. Others could hold only one ear because they were holding their nose with the other hand. It was hard to say which was worse, the laugh or the smell. Sammy stopped laughing and said, Hey, old windbag, if you take off one more of my coats and throw it out the window, I'll bite your head off. They smell too bad for me to allow them in my classroom, said Miss Jules. You can pick them up when you leave. They smell better than you do, pighead, Sammy shouted. Miss Jules didn't stop. She took off another one of his coats, then another, and another. Sammy was only 4 inches tall, 3 inches tall, 2 inches tall. At last, she removed the final coat. All that was there was a dead rat. Well, I don't allow dead rats in my classroom, said Mrs. Jules. She picked it up by the tail, put it in a plastic bag, and threw it away. Mrs. Jules didn't allow dead rats in her class. Todd once brought in a dead rat for show and tell. Mrs. Jules made him throw that one away, too. I'm glad Sammy isn't allowed in our classroom, said Rondi. I didn't like him very much. Yes, said Mrs. Jules. We caught another one. Dead rats were always trying to sneak into Mrs. Jules' class. That was the 3rd one she'd caught since September. And there's a picture of Sammy. Yuck. All right. I'll read the questions again. Number 1, why can't anyone see what Sammy looks like? Well, because, how do I do that? Won't let me type. Nope. All right, so why can't anyone see what Sammy looks like? Because he has so many raincoats, right? On number 2, how tall was Sammy after all the coats were removed? Well, it said he was 2 inches tall. And then the last one, what did the class discover after the last coat was gone? That Sammy was a dead rat that was trying to sneak into their classroom. Definitely different. All right, and then there's the character card for Sammy. And that's the end of our presentation for today. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.